Hello, my name is Sean O'Toole. I wrote the book Like a Slow Burning Fire, and I'm sitting here in the dining room of my house in Bracebridge, Ontario. It's March 2024, and the book just came out about a month and a bit ago, and I'm going to do a reading of it. There are 24 chapters in the book, so plus a prologue. So that means I'm going to do this in 25 chunks. So I'm going to start off today with the prologue. Now, this book, here it is. Here's the cover of it, Like a Slow Burning Fire. I wrote it in the last while and just did a self-publish on it. It's basically set in 1988 when I was 23 years old. I did put in the book on the very first page that it was inspired by a series of true events. So the book is based on 6 months of my life in 1988, starting in March and going through the end of the summer until the end of August. And it's just basically a whole bunch of things that I went through that I just got down on the page. So I'm going to start with the prologue. So here goes. Just to give you a little bit of a heads up, the prologue is set in modern day. It was actually set in 2020 in Bracebridge and Muskoka Lakes Secondary School, where I taught for a number of years. So the prologue is modern day. It's me teaching a class. We just finished reading a story called A Matter of Balance by the Canadian author W.D. Volgertson. And it's me just talking to the kids about that story. So that's the prologue. So like a slow burning fire, prologue, here goes. So the story ends. That's it. The guy just leaves those two biker guys to die there on the ledge of a mountain in the middle of nowhere. That's it. Brandon looks up at me, eyes wide. Yeah, I say, that's it. He leaves them. And they're going to die. How could he do that? What's his name? Harold? Yeah, I say, Harold. I mean, I get it, Brandon says. Those biker guys were stalking this Harold guy and chasing him through the woods or whatever, but leave him there stuck on a ledge and they're going to die? Like those biker guys kind of had it coming, but that's harsh. I let Brandon's words linger. Yeah, it is, I say. Lily raises her hand. But the worst part, she says, is that Harold's all right with it. He leaves those two guys to die and he just straightens his backpack and walks away like, that's it, you're dead, I'm gone. Yeah, I say, and the backpack tells us he's okay with it, the way he adjusts it, like it says, firmly in the center of his back. But why do you think he's okay with leaving those two biker guys there to die on the ledge of that cliff? Mackenzie raises her hand. I nod. Because those biker guys were following him, she says. They were stalking him, and for all he knew, they were going to kill him. Yeah, but what else? Because of what happened to Harold's wife, Mackenzie says, a year earlier, killed in a parking lot by some randoms while Harold's sitting in the house reading a book. His wife was murdered for no reason. So he went to a psychiatrist, and a year later, he's out hiking trying to deal with it, and some sketch biker guys chase him, and they slip onto this ledge, and there's no way up. So he leaves him there to die. But it was all about his wife. Even when his wife was killed for no reason, Harold didn't get that evil's just out there. And then these crazy guys stalk him in the woods, and he's scared they're going to kill him. So he leaves him there to die. And I think that's when he finally gets it. Yeah, you've got it, Mac, I say. Harold sort of knew it when he lost his wife. Sure, it hit him. But when it happens to him, he starts to really get it. The random evil thing. Brandon's hand shoots up. I look at him and nod. I get all that, Brandon says, how that Harold guy finally clued in about the random evil thing. But in the end, when he lures those guys to the edge of that cliff in the middle of nowhere and they're stranded there right then, he's got to decide. Should I leave and call the cops and get them to rescue these guys? Or should I just do nothing, walk away and leave them there to die a slow death? And he thinks, let them die, which is crazy. And he's okay with leaving them there to die. To me, that's a story right there, because in that moment, he does something evil. He discovers that there's something inside of him that will allow him to be that kind of person. And I interrupt him. What kind of person do you mean? The kind of person who's, I don't know, evil, savage, messed up. And I think that's when he really gets it, the idea that evil's in all of us, because it was in those guys who killed his wife, and it's in the bikers who were chasing him for no reason, and it's in him, because he left those guys to die. It's like what we talked about before. The idea that we've all been bitten by the snake. Yeah, I say. You've got it for sure, Brandon. He's been the victim of it. But yeah, it's only when he arguably victimizes other people that he's able to grasp the concept that random evil isn't just out there, but it's all around us, and more pointedly, it's inside us. When he sees it in himself, yeah, I think you're right. That's when he really gets it. I look into a sea of 16-year-old faces with scrubbed skin and eyes with no lines around them. I see girls with perfect straight hair and boys with perfect straight teeth, thanks to braces and parents who watch out for them. And then a voice from the crowd. You ever had something like that happen to you? Like some crazy random thing like this guy? I look out into the sea of faces and my eyes land on the voice. Nick. I pause. I look into Nick's eyes. Yeah, I say. When? It was a long time ago. I don't know, maybe 22, 23. What happened? Well, it was one thing for sure, but there's another thing too, I guess. What was the one thing? That was so long ago. I don't know. It was this crazy thing that happened. And yeah, it's a long story. Nick's got me where he wants me. He's leaning forward, looking right at me. He wants to know. They're all looking at me, 32 faces pressing in on me. You ever written about it? Says Nick. No. Why not? Just haven't. But you write about all sorts of stuff. You tell us to write about that stuff too. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just haven't. I don't know. It's been sitting there for years. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's what? It was just so long ago. It's in the past, way back when, long forgotten. And yeah, I don't know if it still matters or where to start. Nick looks into my eyes. At the beginning, he says. End of prologue.